We're once again joined by our good friend Kevin Petersen. Earlier in the hour, Kevin shared his story of recovery with us. And now we actually want to talk about how to help others while dealing with substance use in the family. Kevin, I think you help out so many people with this. I think as you were sharing, one of the biggest questions was, what is, the first step for helping somebody maybe who is experiencing this?
That's a great question. And the first step is always just sitting down and talking to them and letting them know how you feel and letting them know that you're concerned and offer them help, offer them a solution.
Well, now that's kind of a tricky question because, we do want to help people out, but somebody has to be willing to accept your help. What do you do if you're in the situation where maybe that person's not quite ready?
And that happens a lot. And so, I always tell people, go ahead and offer, even though they're going to tell you, I don't have a problem. And then it's say, well, okay, here's the deal. And this is kind of where I draw on my personal experiences, is let them know and say, I love you, but until you clean up your act and this behavior stops, I'm going to put some distance between us because it's too much of a tornado and it's too much for me.
And it kind of depends on what point of life you're in. So let's say, how do you go about maybe helping somebody who's under the age of 18? Sure.
So if it's a child or someone in your family that's under 18, you obviously have a lot more legal authority. Sure. So you have an ability to say, hey, you know what, we're going to do things differently. What I always tell people is right off the bat, you want to set boundaries in 3 categories: drugs and alcohol, school and work, and behavior at home. But boundaries are only valid if they have some sort of accountability, right? So you have to be able to have some sort of function behind it. So if we're going to say no drugs, no alcohol, we're going to do drug testing and breathalyzing. And then there has to be consequences and rewards. And that's where the families tend to fall apart. They're like, oh, we tried boundaries, but it didn't work. I'm like, well, then what did you do? And they're like, what do you mean?
Right.
I'm like, yeah. You have to have some teeth in it.
Yeah. Well, now let's go the opposite way. How do you go about helping somebody who you don't have as much, authority over?
Well, that's when you can just sort of look at them and say, I love you and I care about you and I'm really concerned about your choices and I'm concerned about your behavior. And so what I would like you to do is consider altering or slowing down. But if you're not willing to do that, then I'm going to have to put some distance between us.
Okay, so let's say we're able to get, one of our loved ones into a treatment facility. Sure. Or we're able to start them on that path to recovery. Mm-hmm. Then what? What do you go next?
So the next thing is, and this is one of my favorite things to tell the families that I work with, because my work is really with the families, not so much with the people struggling with the alcohol and drugs. I tell them is you can't expect them to do something you're not willing to do. So if they're going to get into their recovery, you need to get into your recovery. So let's go see a therapist. Let's start educating ourselves on family dynamics and alcoholism and addiction and trauma and codependency, everybody's favorite word.
Yeah.
And really go after that.
That's interesting. I didn't know you specifically focused with the families. Why was that kind of more of a passion for you there?
Well, because I looked at my own family system,
yeah.
and I understood that while I got sober, when my dad, my dad's the one that kind of held me out, but my family still struggled and still had a lot of stuff going on internally, and so I realized that when I was in school that's really where I wanted to go. They didn't have as much resources as I did.
Sure.
So I wanted to be able to offer resources to the family system. Plus, I think it's a stronger way of helping the individual is by helping their system.
Yeah, you're almost preparing the environment that they're going to be coming home to, mm-hmm. so that they can continue to thrive in that way.
Absolutely, you nailed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. One thing that I am curious about is, where does a family even begin to heal in these situations? What resources maybe if they're kind of looking at doing that as well?
Well, I would tell you that there's obviously some 12-step groups available.
Sure.
A lot of faith-based programs have family system stuff available. There are therapists like me that do. I've written a book called Chronic Hope, Families in Addiction. That's really what it's designed to help. It's going after the family system. And I always tell people that, reach out and ask for help, look for it, and it's there, or email me, call me, and I'm happy to point you in the right direction.
All right, Kevin Petersen with the Chronic Hope Institute. Kevin, you don't know how many people you're helping right now just by sharing your own story, and now we're talking about all the solutions, definitely making it not taboo. We very much appreciate you, my friend.
It's my pleasure. I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
And we are grateful for you.